Exam Scholar, Real Estate Edition.
Question 1. Typically, a penalty that a borrower must pay if the payment is at least 15 days late on a first mortgage is best called A. A late charge. B. A delinquent payment fee. C. A fee in contract. D. A penalty in date. Answer: A. A late charge is a penalty that a borrower must pay if the payment is at least 15 days late on a first mortgage. This time frame can vary, but the most typical is at least 15 days. Question 2. If Lucia was looking to come up with a down payment for her loan and she put forth the idea of using her 401k plan as a source for the down payment, this would be A. An acceptable source for a down payment. B. An unacceptable source for a down payment. C. An acceptable source for a down payment as long as penalties are paid prior. D. None of these. Answer: A. A 401k plan is an acceptable source for a down payment for most types of loans. Most times, pulling funds from a 401k plan prematurely will result in penalties. However, it is not required to pay these penalties in order to secure the down payment for a loan. Question 3. The best definition of a foreclosure is A. The legal process by which a borrower in default under a mortgage is deprived of their interest in the mortgaged property. B. The legal process by which a borrower relinquishes interest in a real property whether in default or not. C. The legal process by which a borrower is evicted from real property in which they hold interest, even if only one payment is late. D. None of these. Answer: A. Foreclosure is best defined by the legal process by which a borrower in default is deprived of their interest in the mortgaged property. Question 4. A mortgage on a property that is considered to be the priority mortgage among any loans recorded against a property is best defined as A. A primary mortgage. B. A first mortgage. C. An anterior mortgage. D. A premier mortgage. Answer: B. A mortgage that is considered to be the priority or first place mortgage among any loans recorded against a property is best defined as a first mortgage. Question 5. An income-based community lending model, under which mortgage insurers and Fannie Mae offer flexible underwriting guidelines to increase a low or moderate income family's buying power and to decrease the total amount of cash needed to purchase a home is called A. Fannie Mae's Community Home Buyers Program. B. Freddie Mac's Community Home Buyers Program. C. Fannie Mae's Income-Based Home Buyers Program. D. Fannie Mae's Disadvantaged Borrowers Home Buyer Program. Answer: A. Fannie Mae's lending model that offers flexible underwriting guidelines to increase certain families' buying power and to decrease the total amount of cash needed to purchase a home is called Fannie Mae's Community Home Buyers Program. Question 6. In an exclusive listing, it gives the licensed real estate agent the exclusive right to sell a property. A. For a specified period of time. B. Indefinitely. C. Until the property is sold. D. Until the seller changes their mind. Answer: A. An exclusive listing allows for the licensed agent to have the exclusive right to sell the property for a specified period of time. It does not allow for an indefinite period of exclusivity. Question 7. This is a law requiring lenders and other creditors to make credit equally available without discrimination based on race, color, religion, national origin, age, sex, marital status, or receipt of income from public assistance programs. A. ECO. B. IACO. C. COA. D. None of these. Answer: A. A law that requires lenders and other creditors to make credit equally available without discrimination based on race, color, religion, national origin, age, sex, marital status, or receipt of income from public assistance programs is called the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, or ECO. Question 8. The term that is used in reference to FHA and VA loans and that are paid in addition to the 1% loan origination fee is called A. Discount points. B. APR. C. Interest. D. None of these. Answer. A. Discount points are any points, money, paid in addition to the typical 1% loan origination fee. Discount points are usually associated with FHA or VA loans. Question 9. The most common definition of a creditor is A. A person to whom money is owed. B. A person that owes money to another. C. An institution that originates loans. D. An institution that insures loans. Answer. A. A creditor is a person to whom money is owed. The creditee is a person that owes money to another. Question 10. In order for a real estate agent to determine the market value of a property, the agent would look at recent sales of properties with similar attributes, otherwise known as A. Comparables. B. Similars. C. Sames. D. Clones. Answer. A. Comparables, or comps, are the properties that are similar to the examined property that have sold recently. This gives the agent a good and fair determination of the current market value for the examined property. Question 1. Which of these are not included in a spot survey of a single lot? A. Nearby schools. B. Property improvements. C. Encroachments. D. Easements. Answer. A. Nearby schools would not be included in a spot survey. Spot surveys identify property improvements, encroachments, and easements. Question 2. How do professional agents establish a listing price for a property? A. Appraisal analytics. B. Broker research report. C. Geographic location analysis. D. Comparative market analysis. Answer. D. The comparative market analysis is the method to determine a listing price that is based on similar properties in the area. Question 3. A contract that has been performed except for one of the elements listed is called A. Executed. B. Pre-performed. C. Executory. D. Void. Answer. C. When all parts of a contract have been completely performed, it is called executed. Until all parts have been completely performed, it is called executory. Question 4. When a broker obtains a new contract, it is considered what until fully performed? A. Pre-executed. B. Pre-performed. C. Invalid. D. Executory. Answer. D. A contract that has not been fully performed is known as executory. Once it is performed, it is called executed. Question 5. David, a broker, has recently finalized a deal for the purchase of one of his listings. The buyer has given him earnest money. What must David do next with the earnest money? A. Deposit the money in the company operating account. B. Deposit the money in his personal account. C. Deposit the money in an escrow account. D. Place the money in a secure location for later. Answer. C. All earnest money must be placed in an escrow account. Earnest money cannot be mixed with personal accounts, business operating accounts, or other locations. Question 6. The pledging of something as collateral or security for payment of a loan is known as A. Hypoflation. B. Hypothecation. C. Hypothecary. D. Hypogenation. Answer. E. Hypothecation is the pledging of something as collateral or security for payment of a loan. Question 7. A borrower conveys legal title to the property to a third disinterested party for safekeeping in order to secure a loan. The required document in this type of situation is called A. An executory deed. B. A warranty deed. C. A trust conveyance. D. A trust deed. Answer. D. A trust deed involves a third party that holds the deed to the property until the loan requirements have been fulfilled for a lender. Once the loan has been fulfilled, the third party holder of the trust deed will reconvey the deed to the purchaser. Question 8. To create a valid mortgage, it must be A. In writing. B. Secured by collateral. C. Have monthly payments. D. Have pictures of the property. Answer. A. Options given, being in writing is the correct answer. However, a valid mortgage must also contain a legal description of the secured property and a statement of the debt owed. Question 9. If land is utilized in a range of ways in balanced proportions, this can potentially A. Decrease land value. B. Increase land value. C. Be illegal due to zoning laws. D. Cause tension between neighbors. Answer. D. As long as the land use is in advantageous proportions, this can increase the value of the land. Question 10. Ito wishes to have a broker represent him in the purchase of a new piece of property. This type of arrangement would be called A. Dual agency agreement. B. Cooperative broker assignment. C. Buyer-broker agreement. D. Right to show agreement. Answer. C. Of the listed answers, buyer-broker agreement is the correct answer. This type of agreement can also be called an exclusive right to represent agreement. Question 1. If the expiration of time has passed in regards to the communication of acceptance by the seller from the buyer, this offer is considered A. Terminated. B. Valid. C. No longer an offer. D. None of these. Answer. A. One way to terminate an offer from a buyer by a seller is to let the time expire on terms of acceptance. Question 2. In real estate, the offer to perform on the terms agreed is called A. Tender. B. Performance. C. Negotiated. D. Acceptance. Answer. A. An offer by one of the parties to a real estate transaction to carry out that party's part of the contract is called the tender. This typically takes place at the end of the transaction. Question 3. If one party cannot perform their part of the agreed terms of a contract, the victim party can claim the other party. A. Performed negligently. B. Defaulted. C. Is voiding the contract. D. Is causing interference. Answer. B. If a party cannot perform their part of the agreed terms of a contract, the other party can claim the other party defaulted. Question 4. If a party was discriminated against, they could A. Bring private action through a state or federal court. B. Bring criminal action through a state court. C. Bring criminal action through a federal court. D. Bring civil action through a state court. Answer A. Because discrimination is not considered a criminal act, the option of the party would be to bring private action through a state or federal court. Question 5. If a buyer of a property wishes to move into the newly purchased home before the close of escrow, the agent/broker should A. Allow it. B. Deny it. C. Obtain written consent from the owner. D. None of these. Answer C. Because the home has not closed escrow, it is still owned by the current owner and therefore the agent/broker must obtain written consent to allow the new buyer to move in before the close of escrow. Question 6. A legal cause of action in which a binding agreement or bargain for exchange is not honored by one or more of the parties to the contract by non-performance or interference with the other party's performance is known as A. Breach. B. Non-disclosure. C. Voidable. D. None of these. Answer A. Breach of contract is when one party does not honor the agreed upon terms of a contract by non-performance or interference with the other party's performance. Question 7. A clause that states a lender may demand the loan amount plus accrued interest in the event of a sale is called A. Addendum. B. Non-performance. C. Acceleration. D. Alienation. Answer D. The clause in which a lender may call in the loan plus accrued interest in the event of a sale is known as alienation. This is different than an acceleration clause in which the loan can be called in due to non-performance of contractual duties, such as not paying mortgage payments. Question 8. What type of arrangement is a less than freehold estate? A. Owner/tenant. B. Tenant/sublessee. C. Lessor/sublessor. D. None of these. Answer A. A less than freehold estate is an owner/tenant arrangement. Question 9. If an as-is clause is inserted into the sales contract for a property that seems to be generally okay on the outside and inside, this would be A. Allowed. B. Disallowed. C. Allowed only in cases of obvious defects. D. None of these. Answer C. The only way an as-is clause is allowed in most situations is if there are obvious defects that any prudent person could discover. Typically they are disallowed by the real estate commissioner to protect consumers. Question 10. If one is transferring or conveying title to real property, it is called A. Alienation. B. Alluvion. C. Accretion. D. Succession. Answer A. The term alienate in real estate means to convey or transfer. Question 1. Prior to the sale of a subdivision, a subdivider must show proof to the real estate commissioner that A. Utilities, water, gas and lights will be on the property. B. Fill on the lots will not exceed 24 inches in depth. C. Parcels of land will be used for the purpose stated. D. Assessment bonds will not be used for off-site improvements. Answer C. The real estate commissioner is very much concerned that parcels of land in a subdivision be capable of being used for the purposes stated in the final report. The parcels may be sold without utilities, as long as they were not included in the report filed by the subdivider. Assessment bonds would be for sewers, street lights, curbs, etc. Question 2. Abel sold 6 unencumbered properties to Baker. Part of the purchase price is a loan made by Able that is secured by a deed of trust on the 6 properties. This document is A. A quitclaim deed. B. A blanket encumbrance. C. An all-exclusive trust deed. D. A reconveyance deed. Answer. B. A blanket encumbrance is created when more than one property is placed as security for a note and trust deed. 6 properties are security for a single note and deed of trust, therefore it is a blanket encumbrance. Question 3. An employee of a corporate licensed as a real estate broker that is working as a member of the corporate sales staff. A. Does not require a real estate salesperson's license. B. Must be a licensed real estate broker. C. Must be a licensed real estate salesperson or broker. D. Does not require a real estate license provided that person is an officer of the corporation. Answer. C. All sales staff members employed by a licensed real estate corporation must have some form of a license, either a salesperson or a broker. Question 4. In addition to certain municipal or county regulations which apply to the construction of a subdivision, such as zoning laws and the State Map Act, other government regulations may be imposed upon the subdivision by A. Fire and building safety laws. B. The Department of Real Estate. C. Governmental lending agencies such as FHA and the VA. D. All of the above. Answer. D. All 3 choices may impose additional regulations which apply to the construction of a subdivision. Question 5. In the event the parties to a bulk sale do not comply with the provisions of the bulk sales law as outlined in the Uniform Commercial Code, the party that would probably be injured the most would be the A. Seller. B. Buyer. C. Creditor. D. Lender. Answer. B. When the parties to a bulk sale do not comply with the bulk sales law, any outstanding creditor may step in and invalidate the sale and take the goods and have them sold to satisfy the debt. The only recourse the buyer has is to chase down the seller who has probably left the country. Question 6. Property management, appraisal, financing, and development are all examples of A. Factors affecting demand. B. Specializations within the real estate industry. C. Non-real estate professions. D. Activities requiring broker management and supervision. Answer. B. All are specializations in the field of real estate. Appraisal and financing do not require real estate broker supervision. Question 7. A major manufacturer of automobiles announces that it will relocate one of its factories, along with 2,000 employees, to Smallville. What effect will this announcement likely have on Smallville's housing market? A. Houses will be likely to become less expensive as a result of the announcement. B. Houses will likely become more expensive as a result of the announcement. C. Because the announcement involves an issue of demographics, not of supply and demand, housing prices will stay the same. D. The announcement involves an industrial property, residential housing will not be affected. Answer. B. The expected arrival of 2,000 employees and their families in a small town will cause sellers to raise their prices in expectation of the greatly increased demand and the long time it takes to build new housing. It becomes a seller's market and the many buyers will have to compete for the few houses available. Question 8. Which of the following, when authorized by the broker, could make a withdrawal from the broker's trust account? A. No one can ever withdraw money from the broker's trust account except the broker. B. Any employee, as long as the broker is incorporated. C. Any unlicensed employee provided that the employee is covered by a surety bond protecting the broker. D. Any of the broker's licensees. Answer. C. By law, anyone other than the broker, such as a clerical employee, must be bonded in order to be able to withdraw funds from the trust account. Question 9. A lender of money on real property should be relatively certain that his mortgage is an enforceable lien. He can best accomplish this by A. Recording the transaction. B. A title insurance policy. C. Providing for an acceleration clause. D. A physical inspection of the property. Answer. B. The title policy would guarantee to the lender that there were no prior liens on the property. If any did arise at a later date, the title company would protect the lender at that time. Question 10. After the due date, Abel makes a payment on a mortgage loan. By statute, the payment on the loan is considered late when received by the lender on A. The first day after the due date. B. The 5th day after the due date. C. The 10th day after the due date. D. After the 10th day after the due date. Answer. D. By statute, most lenders allow longer, i.e., 15 days, but this law establishes the minimum. Question 1. If a person has no cash on hand but offers a personal note payable in 60 days as a deposit on real property, this would be A. An unacceptable form of payment. B. Acceptable if the seller is informed beforehand by the agent. C. Void. D. Both A and C. Answer. B. The personal note is an acceptable form as a deposit, but the seller must be advised of this before the agent can accept it. Question 2. A mortgage company that originates loans that are then placed with lending institutions of whom the company has a pre-existing relationship is best known as A. Corrupt. B. A mortgage broker. C. An intermediary. D. A distributor. Answer. B. The best definition of a mortgage broker is a mortgage company that originates loans that are then placed with lending institutions. Most commonly, the lending institutions and the mortgage company have a pre-existing relationship. Question 3. The difference between the interest rate and the index on an adjustable rate mortgage is best known as A. Margin. B. Differential. C. Substitution rate. D. None of these. Answer. A. A margin is the difference between the index and the interest rate on an adjustable rate mortgage which remains stable over the life of the loan. Question 4. If an individual is representing a firm that makes loans on real property, they would be known as A. A lender. B. A broker. C. An intermediary. D. An attorney in practice. Answer. A. An individual can represent an institution that makes loans on real property, and both the individual and the institution can be called a lender. Question 5. A firm that makes loans on real property based on an individual's creditworthiness is known as A. A creditor. B. A lender. C. A loaner. D. A lendee. Answer. B. In real estate, the firm or institution that makes loans on real property is called a lender. The lender makes loans based on the individual's creditworthiness. Question 6. A lease is best known as A. A written agreement between the property owner and tenant outlining the conditions under which the tenant may possess the property. B. A written document between the property owner and tenant describing the length of time the tenant may occupy the property. C. An oral agreement between the property owner and tenant agreeing to allow the tenant to occupy the property for more than 1 year. D. None of these. Answer A. In this case, the best answer for a lease is a written agreement between property owner and tenant outlining the conditions under which the tenant may possess the property. This would include length of time as well as payment due dates. Question 7. A unique mortgage that allows for the lender to make payments to the homeowner, allowing owners to convert equity into cash, that does not need to be repaid until the borrower vacates the property is best known as A. A reverse accrual mortgage. B. A reverse annuity mortgage. C. A reverse home equity conversion. D. An annuity payment conversion. Answer B. A reverse annuity mortgage is also known as a home equity conversion mortgage, HECM. This type of mortgage allows for the homeowner to collect payments from the lender, converting the home equity into cash. This type of mortgage does not need to be repaid until the borrower no longer occupies the property. Question 8. If Jerry was asking to receive a loan in which the interest rate does not change during the term, he would be asking for this type of mortgage. A. A non-adjustable mortgage. B. A fixed-rate mortgage. C. A conventional fixed-rate mortgage. D. Any of these. Answer B. A fixed-rate mortgage is a mortgage loan in which the interest rate does not change during the loan term. Question 9. If an occupant is legally expelled from real property, this is known as A. An ejection. B. An eviction. C. An evocation. D. An expulsion. Answer B. An eviction is the lawful expulsion of an occupant from real property. This can be accomplished by the property owner through the court processes. Question 10. Real estate taxes, hazard insurance, and mortgage insurance are typically paid by A. Escrow disbursement. B. Personal property taxes. C. Real property taxes. D. None of these. Answer A. Real estate taxes, hazard insurance, and mortgage insurance are typically paid by escrow disbursements.
Exam Scholar, Real Estate Edition.